Welcome back to the Chicago Tomahawk. I'm Mike, and I got my linemate Matt with me. And today, I want to let you guys know to check out the THPN and their podcast. We are a THPN podcast, and they cover every NHL team. And I'll tell you what, man. When we joined this network, they were. I thought that they were really good, and there's a lot of good guys, podcasting on there. So be sure to check them out. First off, we're going to get into some Blackhawks news, then we're going to move on to some NHL news. But to start it off, Blackhawks fell to the Jets 3-1 this past week. Lost to the Wild 4-1. You know, it was hard trying to get some freaking offense, man, and they lost in a shootout to Nashville. The only thing that I can really say about these matchups is that I've been watching Connor Murphy very closely, and I'll be honest with you, man, he's had some games where I'm like, you know what, he doesn't look that bad. And he has some other games where it's like, what is this guy thinking? and I don't know if this is throwing off Seth Jones in a way, because it seems like, do you think Seth is trying to find his game?
He looks slow out there, man. He looks like he's skating with some quicksand under him. And he just, like I was talking to you earlier, he makes some really boneheaded shots. Like, what are you shooting into, dude? If you don't have anything, just keep working, especially in the power play. Like, keep working it on the side with Connor or go to the other wing, but don't fire it into freaking 5 guys. Like, it just makes no sense.
Yeah. I think that he's been better maybe the past couple of years, but I don't know if he's dealing with a nagging injury or something, man. But, I would imagine he's looked at as a leader on this team. He's wearing a letter. And I think there is a little bit of it's a little tumultuous on the back end there, because there's so many new guys, and we've got some guys trying to find their footing, especially with Korchinski. But one person that is standing out to me, man, is Alex Vlasic. I'm going to go out and say it. I think Vlasic is our best defenseman right now. And he's very noticeable on the offensive side and defensive side of the puck. And he is he's actually what I would think Seth Jones would be doing. But that doesn't seem to be the case right now. What do you think of Alex Vlasic?
Yeah, dude, he's a mammoth of a freaking man, dude. He's got a goal tonight. We're recording now against St. Louis. He had a very nice shot from the point, just sniped top corner on Binnington. And he doesn't take any shit in his own zone, which I like. When you got a guy rushing your goalie after a whistle, he's all over the guy. And we haven't had a guy like that in years who, will defend the goalie and stuff like that since your buddy Zadorov. But yeah, I like him, man. I think he should absolutely be a regular. And another guy I really enjoyed watching lately is Phillips. I think he's been skating well, making some good plays, getting it out of the zone of the wingers and everything. But Vlasic, it definitely is going to be on this team when we're ready to compete, because he is, if he could stay healthy, and he's going to, push these guys to the side like Murphy and probably Jones eventually if they can move that contract. But yeah, he's a guy you want to build your defense around for sure. I think him and Korchinski could be future, a pairing for us.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'd like to see him and Korchinski play together. I wonder where Nolan Allen is going to fit in when he comes into the team, because I know he was Korchinski's partner. He was Korchinski's partner in juniors, but last year in camp, they had Korchinski and Vlasic playing a lot with each other. So I'm curious if maybe they should just put these two guys on a line. As far as Jones is concerned, maybe we give him some time to find his game, man. I don't know if he's what's going on back there, but I think that he just not
confident back there at all.
Okay. Yeah, let him skate the puck up. He skates well with the puck. I don't know why they don't let him do that. They should. But I would like to see more of a presence from Jones, because every time I see him, it's usually a puck jumping over his stick on the blue line, or
turnover, yep,
or a turnover. So hopefully he finds his game. Wyatt Kaiser is another guy I'm pulling for, man. I like the kid. He is. I think that he's good. He just needs some seasoning. Korchinski, as of right now, is on a non-roster designation, which means that he's on the roster, but he's not playing because he has a family matter that's going on. Hope everything is all right with him. So if you're looking for Korchinski out there, he is, and I don't know how long it's going to be this way, how long he's going to be on this non-roster designation, but he's dealing with some family stuff right now. So hope everything's all right with him. So Bedard had a really nice goal in the shootout the other day against Nashville, but unfortunately, Soderblom is not very good in the shootout. Needs some. He needs some time, some practice with shootouts and breakaways.
It's time to ban
the
him,
Hawks
dude.
lost.
It's time to ban the shootout. It's horrible.
You don't like it?
No, I would say let's add another 5 minutes to the overtime. Let's try to get rid of the shootout. I think the 3-on-3 hockey is so exciting.
I think 3-on-3 is exciting, but it's like I don't want this game to go on forever. Another 10-minute period is a long time, dude. And yeah, sure, like that last 10 minutes is exciting, but when the Hawks are playing, say Colorado and it's a 9:30 start, I don't want to have another 10-minute period coming up when they're tied in the third.
Well, 5-on-5, or I'm sorry, 3-on-3, 10-minute overtime running clock.
Okay.
I would do that. But you see it, 5 minutes, man, in OT, 3-on-3. It feels like it's like 2 minutes when you're watching on TV. It's so fast.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you add another 5 minutes, I don't think it would hurt, but the shootout's just brutal. And especially you got a young goalie going against guys that, man, Ryan O'Reilly made him look stupid, Soderblom.
Yeah, with that backhand.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. But Robin Leonard would probably be on board with that. I think he has one shootout win his whole career. He's pretty bad with the one-on-O's. I mean, the shooter's got the advantage. And now these guys are so elite, they can pick corners from anywhere. It would suck being in that against a shootout.
Yeah, especially, like that O'Reilly goal that you said, man, he just went to that backhand and went top shelf. I was like, oh my gosh, that was filthy.
It's like these guys knew everything. Like, they had the scouting report on this kid, like, during the intermission, the quick little break. It's like, all right, we know what we're doing against this guy. And, it's like 3 perfect shots. Soderblom's like, oh, man. So.
All right. So, okay, so what would you do after 10 minutes then? What if it's still tied?
Well, I guess you have to have the shootout, but, I mean, I would say keep it 10 minutes, add another 5. And I think once in a blue moon, you're going to get a shootout. I think that's enough time to score 3-on-3.
Okay. I think because at one point there were no shootouts, there weren't many calls where a guy can come in on the goalie. And which at first I think made it really, really exciting. It's like, oh, it's going to be a shootout. But as time has gone on, I think it's lost kind of its luster a little bit. But I'll be honest, man, I don't want the shootout to go. I like it.
I liked it when it first came out. I thought it was pretty cool. But like now the overtime, it's awesome. Like they really like evolved these guys. That face-off, that opening face-off is huge.
Right.
You can control everything. Like guys will skate. They used to skate into the zone and, they're in the zone and they turn it over. Like say the goalie stopped it. They got the rebound. But now it's like, hey, we don't like our entry. We're going to turn around, redo it, and we're still going to hold it while we change. And like I said, that puck possession game, winning that opening faceoff, it's just huge. And it's almost like your chances of winning are like probably doubled, compared if you lose that faceoff. So if you can find a guy that has money on the draws and you can control that whole pace, and there's some really good teams out there like that would probably just be dominant in OT, like say like a Toronto team when you got Matthews out there and just good puck possession guys. And that's it. That's the key, man. Winning that face off and you can control everything. Hey, we're tired. We're changing. Hold the puck. But when we first started doing it, it wasn't like that at all. It was just skate it in, shoot it. Okay. Another face off. Now it's like they avoid face offs in there, just except for the opening one. But it's really exciting, though. I really do like the 3-on-3.
How would you rate Soderblom's play?
I'm not going to rate the shootout because that was brutal, but
No. Leave the shootout out of it.
yeah, I think he's been okay. There's still goalies take a long time to produce. I think that that time in Rockford last year was good for him, and I think he's earned the backup role for sure. I think Mrazek's definitely the starter. He's outplaying everybody. He's been very good actually. I'm gonna be. I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't on the team next year, or even in the deadline, because a team is gonna need a goalie going into the playoffs. This is a guy you want on your bench, or guy even you want starting. Say like you're even Edmonton, like if they're coming back into the race, this is a guy you might want to grab. But as for Soderblom, I think he's gonna learn a lot watching. He's going to get in. He's got 2 wins this year, and they're both against Toronto, which is impressive. He looked very good in those games. But yeah, I haven't seen anything really like bad. Like that first year during the COVID year, that I thought the goaltending was terrible. We were giving up 5 goals a game, and he's been competing. So I like it. I think that there's a chance he could be here, but I really like to see that Drew Commesso come up and get some starts.
A couple games.
I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be this year, but maybe next year he can compete for that backup spot, or even take the net over. That would be great too.
Yeah, I mean he's young, dude. So I mean he's going to need quite a bit. He might need a few years in Rockford.
Goalies take
maybe being the number 1 guy down there.
Yeah,
because it's such a jump going from Rockford to the big leagues.
I always go back to Crawford. It took him a while, and then I remember they called him up against the defending champs, the Ducks, that year, and I think he shut him out, and he was unbelievable. And then they sent him back down. They weren't like happy with it, and everyone was like, "What the hell are we doing?" But I think it was good for him. He had that more time in Rockford, and he came after. I think it was 2011 was his first full year, and we signed Turco, and he ended up stealing the crease. It was his, and he was really good, man.
Speaking of the playoffs, do you think the Oilers will make the playoffs this year?
I think if McDavid keeps playing the way he's playing, the guy's a freak. He's just putting the team on his back right now. I think they could sneak in. I really do. And 2 weeks ago, I'd say, you're crazy. This team's dead in the water, but I think they're on a 6-game heater right now. It's because of him. So if he could keep it up, there's a chance. I think he's going to catch Kucherov in points too. And
really,
dude, he's a machine. The guy's the best in the world. I think there's a good chance he'll win the scoring title and will his team into the playoffs.
I think that there's a chance that he's going to get hurt, and it's going to kill at all of Edmonton's hopes.
Just put him at the basement with the Hawks.
Yeah. I think that they just lean on this dude so much that, like, if he has like an okay game, they lose. He has to be putting up like 3 points a game for this squad to win.
Well, and he does it. That's the thing.
How is that sustainable? It's not. It hasn't worked. Oh, the only thing that this is done is fill up his trophy room at home with personal accolades. And if that's what he wants to do, yeah, sure, fine.
No, he wants it. He's hungry.
He wants a cup, right? Well, at least that's what it looks like. It looks like he wants a cup, but with the way that team is built, they're never going to win a cup, man. No, it doesn't matter how many points. If he put up 200 points during the season, they'll still lose because it can't just be one person. It can't. He has one game, man, where he puts up 1 point. They lose. Easy.
Yep, the depth isn't there. The bottom 6 guys don't produce. The goaltending is mediocre. They sent Campbell down to shake things up, and Skinner's okay, but if you're going to the playoffs, you'd be lucky to knock out the opponent in the first round, and maybe get bounced out by like an elite team, say like like a Colorado or Vegas. But yeah, they're definitely not good enough. I don't even think they're good enough to go up against Dallas. But I think they might be able to sneak in just because of McDavid's freak athlete play. I mean, he's incredible.
What about the Kings?
What's that?
What about the Kings?
Dude, the Kings are super exciting to watch. I watched the game.
No, what I mean is, do you think that the Oilers, if they ran into the Kings, do you think that they would win?
Well, here's the thing: that they've run into each other a lot, and the Kings can't get by them. But they are more of a complete team this year. I think if they do meet this year, say they end up going head to head in the first round, I think the Kings got them this year. They just got so much depth now. Good young players, good vets like Kopitar, Drew Doughty's still playing good. They got Cam Talbot in that. He's been phenomenal this season. And Quentin Byfield, this young stud that's kind of took a while to get going, but he's been very good too. You got Kempe, Pierre-Marc Luc Dubois. They got from free agency from the Jets. Philip Deneau playing that shutdown role that the Hawks missed out on. And I still think Kopitar is one of the best players in the league. Two-way guys, and that team's very scary. So this is a team that's got more depth than Edmonton and way better goaltending. So I would definitely give the edge to the Kings.
Yeah, I think that the Edmonton is on borrowed time, and until they do like a complete shakeup of that squad, I don't think that they're, I think that they're pretenders than cup contenders.
So keep losing, piss McDavid off. We're gonna have cap space. Bring McDavid over here, McJesus and Bedard on one line. Freaking 3 cups in a row we're getting.
Oh,
unbelievable! How awesome would that be? Now that the Matthews fantasy's over. We got, what do you think Connor would be making? What do you think, $15 million a year? Maybe more?
Bedard?
No, McDavid. He's got like 2 years left, I think.
Okay.
I give him what he wants. You sign this guy.
If he's looking, okay, so here's the thing. He's already cashed in his money with Edmonton. So if he's going to win somewhere, look for him to say, "Hey, look, I'm willing to take a 3-year bridge contract at $8 million per, you could put a squad around me."
It's going to be more than that.
To put a squad. Oh well, actually, since the cap is going up, I would probably say that maybe he stays at 12.
I'll say 12, 4 years.
No, well, what I mean is that he's going to stay at 12 as kind of like making it a deal, so that you could put a team around him. But the Blackhawks are going to be in a position where they're going to have to, depending on how Bedard pans out, they may have to give him $15 million a year.
So be it. Give Bedard what he wants and give McDavid. You got 2 studs like that. Davidson's he's going to have like $40 million cap space next year. He's going to have to reconstruct a whole team. He's going to have to get out of the basement just to be at the cap, the bottom end of it. And I'm not sure. You're going to have to look that up for me, but McDavid's contract will end soon, and so is Draisaitl. They're going to have to keep one for sure.
I'll look
but
it up
I
right
think if the Oilers keep losing, there's no way this guy's going to stay. There's no way. I mean, why would you? It's not working. You're cap tied with everybody else. The dude's hungry, and kind of reminds me of how Kane signed with Detroit. Detroit's good. Their young guys are producing. They're filling in some good free agents. Kane's a little older, and he said, "I'm going to go fit with these guys. I can grow with these guys and be a difference maker." I think by the time that contract's over...
I don't like hearing you say that.
I hate saying it too. I was telling my wife, I was watching his first goal tonight. I was like, oh, God, I see him celebrating, hyping the crowd up, and I'm like, man... How the hell can he do that with that freaking winged wheel on his freaking chest?
I know.
But going back to my point, I think when the Hawks are ready, say these young guys like Oliver Moore maybe making the jump, Frank Nazar, you got Nolan Allen, Korchinski, these guys are kind of slowly, finding their footing in the NHL level. Hey, McDavid's a free agent. Let's freaking make a deal. Let's get this guy. Let's make it the Marian Hossa signing and get this guy over here and get us to the promised land again.
His contract is over in the 25-26 season. Is his last year.
So 2 years, right?
On this 8-year, $100 million contract that he's got.
I think we're going to have cap space. And I think Jones's deal will be close to being over, or if he's not moved already, Dude, you got to go for it. If
Let me
that
see what
happens, you have to go for it.
If he reaches.
If he reaches free agency, you got to go.
I don't think he'll hit free agency.
You got to go Ohtani.
I mean, they will be
guy.
nuts. Well, the Oilers would be nuts.
They're going to do everything they can. They're going to throw the freaking bank at him. They're going to throw Ohtani money at this guy. But is he going to win? No, he's probably not going to win.
Okay, so Jones's contract isn't over until 29-30.
Okay, well, I mean, you got to deal with it. You know, the cap's going to be going up. Hockey's growing. They're making good deals with, all these TV, ESPN and all this stuff. They're getting paid. So I think if you pay your guys right, you don't overpay the middle class. You overpay Bedard. Obviously, you're going to pay him a lot. But, your depth guys, don't overpay them, and you can build a good team. Look at the Kings. They built a really good team without overpaying for these guys. So if this happens, if McDavid is a free agent, he reaches free agency July 1st of that year, you have to throw everything at this guy. And
everybody's going to.
So what? Look at Bedard. He's going to be obviously he's going to be out of his entry-level deal, but he's probably going to have a lot of goals. He's going to have a lot of hype, and McDavid's going to be like, dude, I'm going to go play with this young kid because he's a sniper. I'm a playmaker. I could score a lot of goals too. Dude, it could be awesome. Can you imagine that? The best player in the world with the future. Oh, man, it's storybook, dude. It would be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I want to get behind it, man. Really, I do.
Dude, it'd be great.
It just relies on them not signing him, and because they're gonna want to trade him and get something.
For sure. Yeah, he'll go somewhere, probably chasing a cup. The Oilers are going to get first round picks.
Five first round.
They're going to get. They're going to get first round picks, top prospects, maybe a top 3, player on the team now or whatever. But so what? If you can't lose them for free, and if they keep losing, there's no way one of the best players of all time. He could be. Look at his numbers; they're incredible. If he doesn't win a cup, that is a disgrace. So there's no way that he's going to waste his time there if they keep losing and losing like this.
It's hard seeing Kaner in a Red Wing with the wing wheel on it, man. I'm looking at him in a T-shirt right now.
Yeah, I hate it.
It's fucking terrible, man.
That team is really exciting to watch, though, man.
They are fast. They are an exciting team. They're fast.
Good passes.
They're good.
East, West
they have some really good players on that squad.
Yeah.
It's just difficult to see.
I think they need a goalie. I'm not sold on the goaltending. Hey, Peter Mrazek, that's his former team. Give us a couple draft picks, whatever. We'll make some work, But you've watched it tonight. DeBrincat got the assist on Kaner's first goal. It's like,
I saw
that's
that.
another dagger, But
it is. But you know what, man? I mean, what did we get for Kaner?
We got. I don't even know what it was. It was just a pretty much here, Kaner. We're doing you a favor. It was like a.
Yeah.
It didn't do much, dude. It was just mostly to make Kaner happy and go for a cup, and it just didn't work out there. But that team's exciting. I feel like when I'm watching the current Hawks team, it's like a beer league game. It's dump it in, ugly hockey, and then you watch the Red Wings. You got some crazy passing, and you got some weaves going on. Like these guys are drop passing to each other, blind passing, and got Kaner sniping on the power play, a 4-on-3 power play, and man, it's just exciting. Dylan Larkin's fast, good captain.
Yeah, he's good.
Oh yeah, Mo Sider throwing his body around, and it's going to be a good team. I just think the goaltending is their only question mark right now.
Since Kaner, he's at 3 on his bingo card of original 6 squads. He's got 3 knocked out. He's got 3 more if he wants to hit that on his bingo card. But if the NHL is talking expansion, do you think that Salt Lake City, Houston, or Atlanta gets one again? What do you think?
I've been hearing a lot about Salt Lake City. I think that would be pretty cool. I've always said Wisconsin deserves a team. It would be awesome to get another team in the Central that maybe move Phoenix out of there because that's boring. I don't like it. They're more Pacific time to me. But
Yeah.
Atlanta, if they do that again, that's just the stupidest thing in the world. I never understood that. It's just like, okay, the Atlanta Flames didn't work. The Thrashers were a bomb. I mean, there's like literally no one at that game. And I remember listening to a podcast with Colby Armstrong. I don't know if you remember him. He was with the Penguins before they started winning those cups. He was like Crosby's buddy. The guy was kind of like bowling, throwing his body around. Good penalty killer, good role guy. He said, dude, no one gave a shit about anything in Atlanta with the Thrashers. It was like, it was terrible. So I think that would be stupid. I did hear Houston, which would be kind of weird to me. 2 teams in Dallas. I mean, if they could sell tickets, I guess go for it. But I still think Canada deserves another team too.
It goes to I'll give you mine in a minute, but it goes to what grows the game more, what grows it better, because that's essentially what we need to do. Look at how the NBA has been able to grow revenue and grow the game. Look at, the NFL is another one. The MLB, another one. They're getting their guys paid because they get people tuning in. What can the NHL do to get more people to watch hockey, considering it's such a great fast game, and I do not think that another team in Atlanta grows the game. It's failed miserably twice. I don't even know why it's even in the conversation. It's like dating the same chick twice. Then you're like, you know what? Maybe if we do it again, it'll be different this time.
I know. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I don't think that's the case. Salt Lake City sounds interesting, and to be honest with you, Houston does too. If they're growing hockey in Houston, or in Texas, then why not entertain it?
Do you think Dallas does well with attendance? Because when I see them playing the Hawks, I always see a bunch of empty seats in that first level. I mean, I don't know. I think you gotta look at the demographics. Is youth hockey big there? Do like surveys and polls, like would you come see an NHL team if you got one in your city? Stuff like that. You have to do it. I know Wisconsin's a big youth hockey state. I mean, they don't really have big cities and stuff. I think what's their biggest city? Probably Milwaukee, right?
Yeah.
So I know like look at Green Bay. They obviously sell out, but that's football. It's different.
Right.
But yeah, Salt Lake City, I think, would be good. I'm not sure how big hockey is there. It with like the minor hockey, like with the youth hockey and stuff like that. But I think it would be a lot better than Atlanta or maybe even Houston, because it's south. It's not really. Texas is a football state. High school football is huge. The whole town goes to the games. It's like Canada with hockey. Right. But I think if you could put a team in Canada again, that you're going to sell. Look at what the Jets did when they got them back there. They sold their season tickets in like 2 hours. It's insane.
Right.
So they got to look at stuff like that. And with Arizona, that's terrible. I mean, don't keep doing that either. That they're trying to do everything they can. That team is never going to make money. Never. Yeah. So, and they're relying on the NHL and the other teams to kind of make up for their losses. That's what Brad Marchand was saying when he was chirping the Coyotes a couple seasons ago. The guys were fighting. He's like, guys, shut up. We're paying your salaries and stuff like that. So yeah, you definitely got to pick a state that's going to succeed, a city, whatever. But you put it in Atlanta, you're going to get laughed at again because it's an absolute joke.
It says in the same season, the average regular season home attendance for the Dallas Stars last year was 18,371.
So
that's not a bad,
good sign. That's a good sign. And Houston's a big city. They're growing big.
It's huge.
But
yeah, I think that could work out.
I think it would be cool. I mean, if you can get season tickets and people to come, that's awesome. But it takes a while unless you're Vegas and you plan it perfect. You pick your expansion draft.
Oh, they couldn't have planned it any better.
Yeah. I will say that expansion draft is giving teams a chance to compete right away. Usually, like when the Wild and the Blue Jackets started, it was ugly, dude. It was ugly.
Even Ottawa.
Oh, Ottawa couldn't even win a game. And it was ugly. And
I remember that.
It's like, man, you want these guys to succeed. It's like, but you're not giving them a chance at all. Like, they have no chance in hell.
Yeah. So do you think Kucherov will win the scoring title?
The way he's playing now, I think so. But like I said before, I think I wouldn't be surprised if McDavid caught all those guys. If he's averaging 4 points a game, he's going to eventually.
I think he's got 21 points in seven or 11 games or something like that.
I think Kucherov has always competed for that top spot. The last couple seasons when he was healthy, he's a very smart player, elite passer. I think he could, but my second choice would be McDavid. I know he's not even close to those guys yet, but there's a chance that he could catch him for sure.
Oh my gosh, it's incredible. Do you think that I think Pastrnak, man, he's having a really good season. He's putting up some points. I think that maybe he could surprise people and make a move in there.
He was great last year. I think he scored like 51 goals, I want to say. Which you score 50, man, that you're labeled. You're a 50-goal guy. You get that title forever. And he could. I think he could. And the way that the Canucks are playing, one of their studs can get up there. You got Pedersen, you got Brock Besser's up and down, and with Kucherov lately, I think Brock is leading the league in goals. I think he's got 17 or 18 now, which is insane. He's not a guy you'd have on that, your prediction list at the beginning of the season.
Right. I think Brock Besser is he's incredible, man.
That whole team is unbelievable right now.
They can't even talk about Vancouver without talking about Quinn Hughes. He's just exactly what you want when you draft a guy. When you draft a guy high, I think he was like the number 7th pick, maybe, or 6th pick in this draft. And dude, he's a franchise elite player.
He's a captain now. That was
he's a
they knew
now,
moving Bo Horvat. They had a guy waiting to put that C on, and he's leading all defensemen right now. He's the clear winner for the Norris right now, and he's like a plus 20, which is unbelievable. He's putting up points, and he's really good in his own end. That's a good sign.
Yeah. So, which Hughes brother are you starting your franchise with? You've got Quinn out in Vancouver, is captain now. You've got Jack, who's making the New Jersey Devils front office look really smart by giving him that big contract last year. To be honest with you, before he really had proven that he deserved it. And you've got their younger brother Luke, who is 20 games in, and he is he's one of the favorites to win the Calder if Bedard somehow loses it. I like Luke, man. He's really good. He's very confident. He skates great, moves the puck well, skates very well with the puck, and he defends with speed. But if I were to start you know what? Hold on. I'm going to talk about Quinn. Quinn when he first came into the league, he was very good offensively, but defensively, his game really needed a lot of work. Honestly, now he's developed into an excellent defender and is great, on the defensive side of the puck as he is on the offensive side. I think that he's really blossomed, and not just as a player and his talent, growing into his talent, but his role and leadership role on the team, becoming that franchise player that they desperately needed. And then we've got Jack in the Devils, dude. It wasn't looking good those first 3 years, dude. Him being the number 1 pick, I'd put him in that Alexis Lafreniere kind of territory, kind of being a bust, but speak of the Devil, he's having a great year this year. I think he's scoring at a 35-goal pace, which is what they need, especially when you drafted Lafreniere, the number 1 draft pick in the draft, and he's playing, third-line banger minutes. But with Hughes, he really broke out last year, had 99 points, I think 40 or 42 goals, and he has become the offensive pulse for the Devils. So He's got great speed. His hands are incredible. He's got a pretty quick shot. It depends on what you're looking for. What do you need? I don't think Luke has really, kind of developed, kind of put himself out there where you're like, can I start a franchise with this kid? So, I mean, he looks like a good kid now, but let's see what he looks like in 3 years. So between Jack and Quinn, I would go with Quinn. Just because when you're starting a team and you're building something out, I think it's a good idea to start off with the defense and then the centers. So, because you can always get wingers, man. Yeah, Jack Hughes is elite, but wingers grow on trees. But getting a solid two-way defenseman is difficult, and drafting centers that can win faceoffs and play their position accordingly is really difficult as well. So I'm going to go with Quinn.
I'm right there with you. I'm picking Quinn. Look at what he's doing now. Look at his numbers. Look at his plus minus, and look at his teammates. These guys are all at the top of the stats. The league leading stats. And I think he's got a lot to do with that. He's leading all defensemen in points. Cale Makar's right on him, but Cale Makar's an elite defenseman too, and Quinn is playing better than him this year. Like you said, defense wins championships, I think, and this is a guy you definitely want to start your team around. Jack is very good, but look at the team now. They're kind of struggling a little bit. You take away Jack, the team, they were okay. They were still winning, but their defense and their goaltending was questionable. But if you took away Quinn from that team, I think the Vancouver Canucks would be at the bottom with the Blackhawks right now. That's how important he is to that team. And building a team, I think you got to start from the back end. So I'm definitely going Quinn. Nothing against Jack. He's an elite 40-goal guy, 100-point dude. But I think if you got a good defenseman, look at the Avs with Cale Makar. You got a good defenseman, you could find good wingers. You're going to be a good team. I think Jersey still got some questions. I think Dougie Hamilton was their main guy. He's out, so it's different. You got to have a good defenseman back there to win. So I'm going to go with you.
I didn't know Dougie Hamilton was out again.
Yeah, I think he's out for a while. But as for Luke Hughes, yes, he's very good. He's probably going to be in the running for the Calder, but keep in mind, he's in a great situation. He's coming up with a team that's pretty much, we're ready to compete for the cup. We're going to make some noise. I think when Quinn started, the Vancouver, the Canucks were on the, we think we're in the middle of the pack, maybe lower end of the pack, but they developed, they called up some of their guys, and they're producing now. Thatcher Demko's awesome goalie. This team is really, really good. So Luke's lucky. He's surrounded by really good players, and it's very, like I said, it's very lucky to be a young rookie to be called up to a team like that. So, and even Jack, he didn't get that opportunity. He kind of like Bedard. He was drafted and, all right, kid, go out there and score 30 for us. And sometimes it doesn't happen, But now he's got a team around him, and now he's putting in 40. So, but the whole question, I'm with you. I think you start off with a good back end, and that's the way you should build your team. And Quinn Hughes, that's who I'm picking too.
What's crazy is Quinn Hughes is only 24.
Yeah.
And this guy is really getting into that, kind of taking, we're done with the days where, Duncan Keith, Drew Doughty. I mean, even though Doughty is still very, very good, I don't think that he's not at the top rung of top demon in the league anymore. We're looking at, Quinn Hughes, Cale Makar. These dudes are really, really good, man. They set themselves, kind of aside from the rest of the pack. And, we're getting into that time. And Jack, I think Jack is 22, maybe.
Yeah, that's definitely a hockey family, man. Good genes.
I wonder what it is. Yeah, I want it's sometimes there's like a black a black cat of the family, and with this family, dude, they just produce absolute studs in hockey.
It's like the Stalls, the Sutters. you got the Hughes brothers.
The Stalls, you look at Eric, and there isn't another player in the Stalls that was as offensively good as Eric. And you've got, Jordan Stahl. And maybe I should go in
Jordan's wearing the C for the Hurricanes.
Maybe, oldest to youngest. I think Mark is older than Jordan. And he's a great defenseman, man. He's always been a good defenseman. I think that he's gotten better as the years have gone on. Jordan Stahl wasn't going to put up a ton of points, but he was a very good two-way center. And Mark, Jared Stahl, the last one, I think played a few games, and that was it. Didn't quite make it, man. But these Hughes brothers, man, all three of them are elite, dude. They're good.
I'm with you. The Stalls. I'd like to see a 3-on-3. The Stalls versus the Hughes brothers in their prime. It would be pretty cool.
Oh my gosh! It would definitely be. They would definitely be a size advantage because I think all the Stalls are 6'3", 6'4", and above, and I think the tallest Hughes is Luke. I think he's 6'2" or 6'1", but Jack's only 5'11", and Quinn's only
5'10". Yeah, Mark Stahl's currently with the Flyers, another team that's surprising. Look at Goodford Torts getting that. He said he wanted to change the locker room. He said that was their main issue. We got to change the culture here, and that team is competing for a playoff spot. Everybody say what you want about Torts. He gets the job done, man.
He gets them to that. He's very good at taking like shit teams and making them very competitive. I mentioned that, that if you're building a team, you go start with defense and then the centers. I wonder where goalies fit in on that. So, Matt, if you were going to start a team, you had to pick one goalie, anybody that you're starting your team with. Or how about this? Let's talk about the top Vezina candidate this year, because obviously that's who you'd start your team with.
Okay.
Who do you want me to go first?
I'll go first because I will read you the top 5 goalies in the league right now based on wins.
Let me guess. Is based on wins. Hold on. Thatcher Demko's got to be up
number
there.
3.
Okay.
With 12.
Shesterkin
is not even top 10. And
really?
This is why.
With wins?
The signing of Jonathan Quick was the smartest move by Chris Drury. Getting a good backup goalie and getting that guy rest and getting him ready for the playoffs, that was a brilliant move. Shesterkin is 11 with 10 wins.
Okay. How many wins does
Quick has 7, his backup.
Okay.
He's 7-0-1 as a backup. That's incredible. Great move by the Rangers.
Yeah, no kidding. What about Jake Ottinger?
Jake Ottinger is number 8 with 10 wins.
Wow. Vegas.
Aiden Hill is top 10 with 10 wins and 2 losses.
Wow. Yep.
It's crazy. You're not going to get... I don't think you're going to get 1, 2, or 4, or 5.
Okay, hold on. Wow. What about Sorokin?
Sorokin is... Let's see... I'm not liking it. I'm still scrolling. He is 25th with 6 wins.
Oh my gosh. Fuck. What about no? I don't even know who the Bruins goalie is anymore.
So the Bruins still have the same goalies.
Ullmark, Linus Ullmark.
Here's the good thing about the Bruins. They got that good tandem of Swayman and Ullmark. They are both... Swayman is 13th. Ullmark is 14th. Both of them tied with 9 wins.
Smug.
Swayman is 9-1. Ullmark is 9-4.
All right, go on ahead.
That's a good problem to have, though. So number 1 in wins is Alexander Gregoriev.
Wow.
Colorado Avalanche. Number 2 is Sergei Bobrovsky, 13 wins. Number 3, you got Thatcher Demko with 12. Number 4 is Connor Hellebuck with 12. So actually, we got a three-way tie. 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so you got Hellebuck with 12 sitting at 4th, and then 5th, Cam Talbot of the LA Kings with 12. So then I'm going to sneak this kid in there. The Arizona Coyote goaltender Connor Ingram, 11 wins, 5 losses. So when I base my, I guess like my Vezina pick, I'm going to look at wins and I'm going to look at goals against. So the best. So this is the thing, when you look at the goals against, sometimes there's a kid in there that played one game and say he gave up one goal, so he's got that average. So right now, the best goals against average in like the top 10 is Aiden Hill with 187, which is super impressive. But then I look at Cam Talbot sitting at 3 with 1.91, which is unbelievable, and he is top 5 in wins. So if I had to pick a guy right now looking at the numbers and wins, I think I'm going to give it to Cam Talbot, which is insane because this is a guy I wouldn't even consider top 5 in the league. Not even top 10 probably.
I think if I was going to start a team and I needed somebody, I think I might go UC Saros, man.
Okay, so we're going to play that now. I like that too. If I'm going to build, if I get an expansion team, I'm the GM, and I get a goalie, I think I'm going to go Ottinger. I just like the way the kid plays. He's a big reason why Dallas is good. He's such a good goalie, and every time the Hawks play him, it's like I feel like I'm watching like a 90s goalie. This guy's just so good, one of the best guys in the league, so I think I'm going to go Ottinger.
Sorokin's good too.
The Russians, man, they're taking over the goaltending. It's crazy. You got Bobrovsky, who's kind of been the first guy to get paid big bucks as a Russian goalie. You got Vasilevsky, a Russian. Dude, the Olympics, what do? You got Sorokin, you got Vasilevsky, you got Shesterkin, you got Bobrovsky. Like, these guys are going to kill each other for a spot. There's going to be like a freaking KGB war going on with goaltending.
It's kind of crazy to talk about the Vezina Trophy favorites and not have Vasilevsky in the conversation.
Yeah, that injury. Yeah, it's going to be hard for him to get back into that.
It's too bad they couldn't take care of that during the offseason, or if maybe he didn't have enough time to recover. Since he's played so much hockey this past few years. Meaning, do you think going forward? Do you think the Tampa dynasty is over?
Yeah, I think there's some fatigue, man. There's some. They've had salary cap issues. They've been, moving guys. They lost some really important guys over the last couple seasons. And we see Tyler Johnson, Palat. He went to New Jersey, and somebody went to the Ducks. I forget who it was. He was a huge part of it.
Was it not Maroon?
Killorn. Patrick Killorn. Yeah, he was another guy, that huge role guy. He lost some guys to the expansion drafts. Getting Brandon Hagel was a big deal for them. He's a good player there. He's fitting in well with Braden Point. And hey, you got question marks with Stamkos. Like, what are you going to do with your captain next year? I mean, he's pissed off he doesn't have a deal already. But the guy, he does get hurt a lot. It's a big question. And the only good thing for Tampa right now is the salary cap is going up, so maybe they can kind of retool and get back into the playoff picture. I think they could be sneaky good and sneak into the playoffs. They just got too much experience, like the Blackhawks did back in the dynasty runs. They might be able to sneak in wild card spot, I'm thinking, but that division is so good. You gotta be in playoff mode right now if you're the Lightning.
Yeah, I think with all of the playoff hockey that they've had and the strong run that they've had, man, I think that the dynasty is over. I think that they're very competitive, but I don't think that they're cup favorites anymore.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. If you think about it, man, their little dynasty run, I think it was more impressive than the Hawks dynasty. I mean, yes, we got 3, but these guys made the final like year after year, it seemed like, and they were a young team in 2015. going
Yeah,
against an
we never
elite
lost that.
powerhouse Blackhawk core, so
Yeah.
it's impressive that what Tampa's done. I think they've lost 3 finals, I want to say,
Yeah.
or was it 2?
They lost one to the Hawks, and they lost. They didn't make it to the finals.
So
last
they were
year.
in the final 4 times, I think, and their core 4 times is impressive. So I think they were 2-2. The Hawks were 3-0. So yes,
3-0, baby.
It's still super impressive because a lot of teams that make the final, they have hiccups and they can never get back there. Tampa found a way. They got a great coach. I still think Coop's one of the best coaches, and if God forbid they fire him, you got to be on the phone. Any team should be on the phone the next day. Hey, we want you to be like a what do you call it? An associate coach, like meaning if our guy, if it's not working out, he's gone and you're the man. Yeah, you're the guy.
And we'll pay you like a head coach though, so it's all good. He'll be the highest paid associate coach.
I'd be fine with that. That dude's a winner, but I think Tampa would be crazy to get rid of him.
Do you think the Blackhawks are going to finish 32nd this year?
It's good to see them. They're on a 2-game win streak. Mrazek almost got back-to-back shutouts, but that Lazarus moron jinxed it by saying the Hawks he's got a shutout streak, which is rule number 1 when a goalie has a shutout. You don't say shutout, ever. You don't even mention it, even if you're a fan. And if a player did it, you got to beat his ass and you tell him, hey, you don't do shit like that. So I learned that when I was in youth hockey, when a kid, the other goalie was playing, and a kid was saying, oh, man, yeah, he's pitching a shutout. Our coach benched him. He's like, you never, ever say that S word on my bench when we are pitching one. So that moron caused it. I'm going to blame him because I'm not a big fan of him anyway. But I think the Hawks, I just think there's not enough personnel. I think poor Connor Bedard, he's going to be an elite, superstar, but he's just got no supporting cast. I mean, they could finish 32nd. I really think so, and we'll be top 5, another first-round pick.
So here's the thing. Here's something to think about. I'm going to say, let's see here, all the way up to I'll say the Canadians. They're in 21st. They're in the 21st spot. Okay. The Sharks are all the way at the bottom with 8 wins. Okay. And then the Hawks are in 9th. Well, they have 9 wins, so they're in 31st place. Between 31st and 9 and having 11 wins, which is the Pittsburgh Penguins at number 22. That's, I mean, obviously it's going to see how the season progresses, but I think that the Blackhawks, depending on how they play, if they, kind of right the ship a little bit, they could be one of those under the, maybe in the top, not the top 20, maybe like the bottom 10 or 15 teams. Well, but maybe not all the way at the bottom.
Keep in mind, the Sharks went 0-9 in a couple, and they've been better lately. They're still terrible, but I mean, man, they're past the Hawks now. So that's how crazy it's been. I think they're going to finish definitely bottom 30, and we'll be competing for another first-round pick, which is nice. And hopefully we can maybe get another one at the deadline. Maybe somebody will be
that'll be interesting,
tearing it up, and we're going to demand a first-round pick out of it, which would be awesome. Yeah.
Listen to this: Predators 14 wins, St. Louis 13 wins. They're 500 team. 20th place. 21st place, the Canadians at 12 wins. The Penguins, 11 wins at 22. Flames, 11 at 23. Sabres, 11 at 24. The Oilers, 11 at 25. Yeah. The Jackets, 9 at 26, but they've got like 5 overtime wins.
Yeah, it's insane.
The Senators are 11 and 11. They could easily, drop down. So you have a lot of teams. The Wild had 9 wins. The Kraken had 8.
It could definitely change fast. So you get on a little hot streak, and you're jumping. You're jumping 2 teams, maybe 3. So, you know what I found crazy? I heard this the other day on the radio. The Penguins have yet, or Chris Letang has and 0 power play points. I think their power play's dead last. They brought in Erik Karlsson to boost the power play. So what do you think about that? It's like you had a guy Letang who probably could have handled the load himself, and you bring in Karlsson, and now you're splitting time. I think it was a stupid move by Kyle Dubas to bring in a guy like Erik Karlsson. At his age, he can't play defense. He's just a fourth forward out there. I think it's insane.
Well, the Penguins are 22nd in the league. Do you think that has something to do with it?
And then Crosby, his numbers are still good. He's on pace for some good numbers this year, and I think that team, they're going to have to blow it up, dude.
Yeah. Let me look up his stats really quick. So Karlsson this season, holy smoke, dude. Karlsson this season has 6 goals, 13 assists, 19 points, right? Listen to this.
Let's hear the minus, Mike.
It's a plus 12.
Erik Karlsson is a plus.
He's a plus 12 this season.
Dude, the power play is terrible. I guess they're good 5 on 5, but the team is just not that good. Well, look at Sid's got 27 points in 26 games. The dude's still a monster. He's a plus 11.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Dude is still a monster. Unbelievable. He's got 565 goals, 964 assists, 1,529 points, and he's a plus 221 in his career. The dude is an absolute monster, Hall of Fame, one of the best ever to play.
Ever. Top 10. Would you give him top 10?
I'm giving him top 10. And he missed about a year, maybe more, with concussion issues.
Maybe like 2 years. Yeah, but he got it right, and luckily, very smart for the Penguins to give him that time to
get better. You're
really
important. He ended up coming back, and they got more cups. Yeah, 2. I still think it was Phil Kessel. He carried that team.
Yeah, let me look at Crosby's points here. They're plus 11, 27. Wow, man, 15 goals, 12 assists. What a stud,
He's a monster. Man. He's an absolute monster.
He's
let me see here. 221 36. Is the most impressive thing I've seen from a center.
Yeah.
In this new NHL where it's a scoring fest. He's super good in his own end.
Do you think he's definitely top 10. He's got to be. Do you know Vinny Hinostroza's playing for the Penguins?
Yeah, I think they moved him. He was with he was with Buffalo, I want to say, last year. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, he's got 10 games, 1 goal, 2 assists.
Yeah, you know what? Out of all that class that you've had, Hinostroza, Ryan Hartman's been good with the Wild. They moved him to center. A couple years, and he's been putting up some good numbers with that team. I think him and Hartman were pretty good friends growing up too.
Yeah, they were. I think they played PB football together.
Yeah, Ryan Hartman was a monster. The type of player you need on a team. He was just he'd do stupid hits, take some stupid penalties, but he could score. He was just just kind of played with a nasty edge. I like that.
It's too bad they didn't realize that he would be a good center.
Yep, same with Philip Deneau, another guy that could have been a monster here too if they scouting report got that one wrong.
So I wanted to talk about the Ducks really quick. Do you think that Mason McTavish is the face of the Ducks?
Yes, and his numbers.
People are probably like, when you think of the Ducks, you think Trevor Zegras.
The young kids think of Trevor Zegras that don't care about wins and losses.
Okay.
They care about, puck handling in Michigan's. I think Mason McTavish, his numbers are great. He's got 10 goals, 11 assists, 21 points. The team's, they're kind of like in maybe a year ahead of the Hawks, I'll say, with developing. I think he's going to be a better player than Zegras, though. This kid's a stud. You got a good goalie, John Gibson. I think he's going to end up being moved, though, because it's just it's got to suck playing for this team, just getting thrashed every year by year. So eventually, I think he's going to want out. And yeah, Trevor Zegras, he had some good numbers last year. He did, but look at this year. 1 goal, 1 assist. Against the Hawks the other night, I didn't even see him, dude. I didn't even notice him.
I didn't either. I noticed Troy Terry, ironically.
Yeah, he looked solid.
He was everywhere.
Solid. Cam Fowler, he's a good defenseman. He's getting up there in age, but solid defenseman. It's weird, man. This team is. I think that they're going to take some step backs. I just don't think the Zegras thing, the Zegras hype is worth, and they put him on the cover of NHL. I mean, it's insane. He's not that guy.
Yeah, I think he's way overhyped. Well, we've talked about that before. But the face of I don't know, is Mason McTavish just not as marketable?
Like I said, the younger crowd, the TikTok Snapchatters, they want to see puck handling. They want to see Michigan goals, and you see these cool little clips of guys doing these crazy 1-on-0s and stuff. Just not even, like he's more of a showman. You know what I mean? He's not
Sure.
really. He'd be an awesome TikToker. Like, hey, I'm Trevor Zegras. I'm gonna show you my Michigan scoop, like twirly shot, whatever. Like, I could never do that. It's super impressive, but I mean, how often do you do that in a game? Like, if you tried that shit, I thank God Radko Gudas is on his team, because if he wasn't, that's a guy that would put you through the glass if you tried that shit. So, I mean, yeah, cool. If you want to impress the kids on TikTok with your puck handling, like the Mighty Ducks movie, the cowboy Dwayne doing his puck handling stuff, but I mean, that's unfortunately it's not a stat, and it doesn't.
Sure.
It's not cool puck handling. You got a point for that. And it's not like that at all, and that's what the kids got to understand. And Pavel Datsyuk was another magician puck handler. And, they used to say, oh, he's so much better than Patrick Kane. He's so much better. Hey, at what? Deking a guy? You don't get it's not a stat. Deking it across, doing that stuff. Kane's deking guys and scoring goals because of it. He's doing a spinorama or something.
Right.
So I never understood that.
Or setting up another player.
Yeah, it's just that hype, the TikTok crowd, I'll call it. They want to see cool stuff like that. And I absolutely, I don't think he's going to be the face of that team. I could see him honestly getting bounced, moved, because the guy wanted so much money, and he, I think he only got like 5 or 6, I want to say. So,
no, I thought he only got 3.
So that was a smart move by the GM.
Hold on, let me look it up.
Smart former NHLer, great player back in the day, now the GM of the Ducks. That was a smart move on his part. Just to see him, he's got to prove it if he wants to get paid big bucks.
Oh, no. It was 5.7.
That's high, but he did put up good numbers last year. But this is the good bridge deal like I'm talking about. Let's see him prove it before we invest $9-10 million a year. I think Mason McTavish is way better than this guy, and I think he's going to end up being the guy you're going to be building the team around.
I wouldn't have... That's high, man, for Zegras. I would have given him 4.5 max.
Yeah, maybe 3 years.
4.5 max. I would have given him a 3-year deal, anything between 3.5 and 4.5 max.
Yeah, he held out too, man.
I mean,
he held out this year. He wanted to get he was gonna sit to get more money, and Verbeek didn't budge, man. And look at it, hurt Zegras. I think he had some injuries. He's got terrible numbers. 1 goal, 1 assist. Come on. This is the guy that was demanded for like $8-9 million a year, like Jack Hughes money. No way.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like his stats for this season is like a good night for Hughes.
Yeah. A good period for Hughes. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think the bridge deal does need to come back. Maybe just like the length, like say a guy, McDavid, he comes in, obviously, what you have, but somebody like Zegras, say somebody like, think of a young guy, even Cale Makar, man. He's one of a kind. So I guess you could put him
money.
in.
Right away.
you could put him in like the McDavid type of camp, who is a player that DeBrincat was a player like that with the bridge deal, because you need to see how he would be not playing with Patrick Kane. And obviously the results speak for themselves. He didn't play as well as he did with Kaner. But I do think that the bridge deal needs to come back. Maybe even if they gave Zegers $6 million for 3 years, it'd be like, okay, but not that long term 8-year deal.
Yeah, that's like the max term you could do. Yeah,
unless it's Bedard, But
I agree. I think if they make it like a 3-4 year bridge deal type of thing after your entry level, I think that'd be great. And it would be better.
Give him a little taste. Give him some cash.
It would be better for the league too, because then you're not like say Hughes is a bust, and he's got like 5 goals this year, and he's got 4 assists. You're paying this guy $8 million for 8 years, dude. That it just kills the game, because now these agents are like sharks, dude. They're gonna be, well, this guy's getting that, and he put up more numbers, better numbers, and they're gonna just base their comparisons,
Yeah.
So I think, the bridge deal would be great, and it's for. Yeah, you want to see the guys make money, because they're not going to be playing hockey forever. Make as much money as you can, stuff like that. I'm for the players, but you gotta.
Yeah, me too.
It's gotta be realistic. I mean, you can't. I think this is a fair deal for Zegras. I do. I think he's very lucky, but I think it's a win for the Ducks GM. Because if this guy was holding out for $9 million, like Jack Hughes money, and he's producing like this right now, I would be demanding, hey, I need 35 goals from you with this contract, and I need like 50 plus assists. And that's what I want. That's your goal every season. And I don't think he can do it, man. I don't think he's got it in him or the personnel around him yet.
Yeah, I don't think he's that type of a goal scorer. I think he's more of a playmaker.
Super skilled, no doubt about it. I'm not taking that away from him, but yeah, I think Jack Hughes is on another level than him right now. If I guess you could compare them two. They kind of came up together. I think they were in the same draft class. So I think so. I think he was like 7th and Hughes was 1, I want to say. But
let me look that up.
Definitely, even Capo Caco, this guy is nowhere putting numbers like Jack Hughes right now. He's running away with that.
Draft year 2019. Let me look up that 2019.
I want to say he went 7th. Right?
Yeah, it was. You're right. Oh wow, look at this. Number 1, Jack Hughes. Number 2, although that's North American skaters.
Was number
Hold
4,
on a second.
I think. Right?
Let me see. Okay, here we go. Number 1, Jack Hughes. Number 2, Capo Caco. Number 3, Kirby Doc. Number 4, Number 4,
good pick.
Bo Byram. Number 5, Alex Turcotte.
Yeah, see, I remember that was the big thing with the scouts at the draft. I remember they were saying, this is a Chicago native. Bowman's got to grab this guy. But then I remember the Canadian panel, they were like, nah, dude, the Hawks are old. Seabrook's old. Keith is old. You got to get a guy like Bo Byram. And then he picks Kirby Doc. So, nothing against Kirby.
Then he had Mo Sider was there. Zegers went number 9.
I was close.
Yeah. Let's see. Spencer Knight went number 13.
Talent pick.
Cole Caulfield, number 15.
Stop it, dude. This sucks. What could have been.
Yeah, can you imagine? Well, I mean, I wouldn't have gone for Cole Caulfield. I probably would have went for, in hindsight, if I could pick somebody, it would be Mo Sider,
or I'm picking Bo Byram. If you're a rebuilding team, you got to start on the back end. And look at Bo Byram as a Stanley Cup champion already.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. All right, everybody. That's all that we got for you this week. Catch us next week. We're going to go over, this week we and Matt are going to talk about the U.S. versus Canada, possible Team USA, Team Canada. Is Team USA putting out better players now than Canada? So catch us next week, and we'll let you know what we come up with. This is the Tomahawk, and we're out of here.